Hey, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unfeigned the podcast. I'm Jay. I'll be your host. And today's episode is the third installment in this series that we've been doing called From Brokenness to Healing. In the first two episodes in this series, we talked about acknowledging brokenness and uncovering the wounds. Today, we're going to talk about, on this episode, what might be the most difficult and most courageous step in the entire journey, and that's choosing to heal. So, this episode I am titling Choosing to Heal, Not Just Survive, but Thrive. So, like I said, this might be the most difficult step in the entire journey, choosing to heal. Survival is not the same as healing. Also, healing is not some feeling, it's a decision. So, what I want to do on this episode is I want to dive into what that looks like. But before we do that, I just want to remind y'all that the last Friday of every month, we will do a live Q&A session. Now, I call it a live Q&A session. Basically, what it is y'all will submit questions or ask for advice. And then on the last Friday of every month, I'll dedicate that episode to going through your questions or whatever advice has been asked for. And the entire episode will be dedicated to that. Now, eventually, I would love to get to the point where we have actual live, where people are calling in or emailing in or messaging in. But for now, I will take the questions that are submitted or the advice that's been asked for and dedicate the last Friday of every month, that episode, to those questions. You can submit questions at any point, anytime, doesn't matter, any day, anytime you'd like. To do that, go to www.unfeigned.org and then go to the live Q&A page. You can do that by clicking the link at the top. Also, before we dive in, just want to let everybody know again how much I appreciate y'all. I love that y'all listen. I love that y'all follow this podcast. I'm so just so thankful that y'all even take the time to listen to these podcasts. I'm just so grateful that you join me on this journey. Hope that you'll continue, and it would be awesome if you shared this podcast with anybody that you know. One last thing, sorry, making just a bit of an announcement. I want to repeat this announcement, and I'll probably do that on each of the upcoming episodes. But if you're looking for, if you're looking to heal, if in your own personal life, if there's brokenness that you want to heal from in your relationship, whether it be a dating relationship or a friendship or work relationship or your marriage, if you're looking to heal in those areas from brokenness, I can help you. And I want to help you, so connect with me. You can actually go to the website, www.unfeigned.org, and you can book a coaching session, and you can reach out to me. But I want you to connect with me. You can email me, unfeignedpodcast@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. But if you really want to get deeper and dive into your healing, I can help you. I've been to hell and back. I've been broken, and now I'm on the other side. I've healed from so many things, and I want to use my story and my experiences to help y'all. Some of you have already reached out, and I'm loving it. I love that I get to play a part in your healing journey. And so if you'd like that, definitely go to the website or reach out. Okay, so let's dive in. So what does it look like? What does making the choice look like? So every day we're given a choice. We're given a lot of choices to stay stuck in survival mode or to step towards something better. That choice doesn't always come wrapped in comfort, right? It often looks like confrontation. Sometimes it looks like discipline and daily surrender. More often than not, it's not comfortable for us to make that choice. Right? In Deuteronomy 30 in the Bible, Deuteronomy 30, 19 through 20, there's a verse. This verse says, "This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your children may live." It's not just about physical survival, right? It's about emotional and spiritual. You can be breathing and still be dead inside, right? We all either know someone or have experienced this ourselves, where we're just going through the motions, right? And we're alive, but we're not alive, right? We're living and we're breathing, but we're just dead inside, and we're just going through the motions. We're just coasting. We're just surviving, right? And so healing begins when we say, I want more than this. I don't want to just survive. I don't want to coast. I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to be dead inside. I want more than this. I want freedom. I want peace. I want life. I want to heal. Choosing to heal also means choosing to no longer settle for pain as your permanent state. So before we dive into that statement, I have always said this to my children. As I've raised all my children, I've always said that when you choose something, you're simultaneously not choosing something else, right? So every choice that we make, you're sacrificing something. And that could be good or bad, but when we make a choice, we're sacrificing choosing something else, okay? And so it's the same here. Choosing to heal means also choosing to no longer settle for pain as your permanent state. It means no longer letting trauma define your relationships. It means no longer replaying the same cycles, the same toxic behaviors and habits. It means no longer numbing, avoiding, or pretending. It means facing the pain in order to defeat it. There's another verse in the Bible that comes to mind. It's Philippians 3:13 and 14. It says, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize. Paul who's speaking there, Paul isn't saying forget your story. He's saying stop letting it anchor you, right? So choosing healing is choosing movement, right? That's a simple thing to remember, right? Choosing healing is choosing movement, forward, upward, deeper, right? And so why don't some people choose? Why do some people not choose to heal? Okay, so let's be honest, healing is hard. It's not easy, right? And the mantras that I live by, whatever you give your attention to, you'll become attracted to, and whatever you become attracted to, you'll pursue. Okay? Be curious, not judgmental. And then this one is sort of what this episode is kind of grounded in today. But choose, commit, confront, right? Healing is hard. The choice is simple, but it's not easy, right? This mantra, choose, commit, confront, is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Healing is hard. And that's why so many people choose to stay broken. Why? Because it's familiar, it's predictable, and it's comfortable in a weird, twisted way, right? Naturally, we like comfort. We like to know. So we like predictability. We like the familiar. We like the comfortable. And it's twisted because we will choose to stay broken. We'll choose to stay in our brokenness because it's comfortable, right? And so here are a few reasons why people resist healing. Fear of change. Who will I be without this pain? Fear of confrontation. What if I have to face what I've buried? Fear of responsibility. If I'm healed, I can't blame others anymore. And fear of the unknown. I've never lived healed. I don't know how. But here's the truth. Fear will keep you safe, but it will also keep you small. Healing will stretch you, but it'll free you. The reality is, though, that you will never simply just drift into healing. I say this on my podcast often that we don't heal by osmosis. It doesn't just happen. You have to choose it on purpose. And you have to make that choice over and over and over again, every moment of every day of your life. Right. So let's take a quick look at this mantra: choose, commit, confront. Here's the process. Right. First, you choose. You make the conscious, deliberate decision that healing is what you want. You may even say to yourself, I may not know the next step, but I know I don't want to stay like this anymore. The second part of this process is commit. So you make the choice. Now you commit. You create consistent space for healing. Consistency is the key. Every moment, every day, you create this consistent space for healing. It could be talking to somebody, right? It could be therapy, right? It could be talking to me. Right? Like what I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, I'd love to connect and help you, right? I'd love to work with you on this. It could be through prayer. That was crucial for my healing, was my faith in my prayer life. Journaling. For some of you, writing things down can be very therapeutic. Boundaries are huge. Forgiveness, right? These are just some things that will be a part of that consistent space for healing. And like I said before, healing, it won't happen on accident. It requires effort and investment. That's why it's not easy. It's simple because it's simple to say, I want to heal, right? But it's not easy. It's hard because then you have to commit to that. And by committing to it, it requires effort and investment on your part. So ask yourself, what routines reinforce my pain? Let me say that again. What routines reinforce my pain? Then ask yourself, what new habits do I need to reinforce healing? Again, here are the questions. What routines reinforce my pain? What new habits do I need to reinforce healing? I've talked a bunch on previous episodes about toxic behaviors and replacing them with healthy behaviors. The third part of this process is the part of this mantra that we most often avoid. Okay. And that's confront. So you've made the choice, you've made the commitment, and now you must confront. And like I said, this is the one that we most often like to avoid. But you must confront. You have to confront a number of things. Here are a few of them. You must confront the lies you believe. I talk often about our inner critic. And in our brokenness, our inner critic tends to be the loudest. And you must confront the lies that you believe. You must confront the people you need to forgive. Right? We talked on a previous episode about forgiveness. And so there may be people that you need to forgive, or there may be people that you need to ask for forgiveness. You must confront the patterns you're repeating. Right? And that's part of that question where we just asked about what routines reinforce my pain. What are the behaviors, the patterns, the actions, the decisions, the choices that you're making that repeat, right? That reinforce your pain? What do you continue to do? You must confront the places where you've been complicit in your own suffering. Okay, you got to confront the areas of your life where you've been complicit in your own suffering. Confronting is painful. Choosing is easy and simple. That's probably the only part of this mantra, this process that's both simple and easy. Because all you have to do is say, I want to heal. There's your choice. But then it becomes hard. It's no longer easy. So choosing is easy. The commitment takes discipline. And it's hard. The commitment's hard. It takes discipline and it takes consistent discipline. But confrontation is painful. Or when we confront the brokenness in our lives or in our relationships, it hurts. It's painful. But here's the good news, y'all. It's also liberating. It's freeing. And the only way out is through it. So here are 3 tools to help you act on the choice to heal. Here are 3 practical things that you can do that will help you act on this choice to heal, to motivate you regarding your choice to heal. So you can journal, right? Think about this question. What does healing look like for me? What am I afraid I will lose if I pursue it? Let me say that again. Write these 2 questions down. This is the first practical tool to help you act on the choice to heal. What does healing look like for me? And then what am I afraid I'll lose if I pursue it? And here's a scripture to encourage you. Philippians 3:13 says, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. Okay, number 2. So that's the first practical tool. The second practical tool is another question. Okay? Where have I been choosing survival over healing? So where have I choosing to coast? Where have I been choosing to coast? Where have I been choosing to go through the motions over healing? Okay? And the first practical tool might be you write down in a journal. The second practical tool is make a flashcard. I know this sounds super simplistic and elementary. I get it. But like when we were in school and oftentimes when you're studying for a test, you want to help yourself remember things. You made flashcards to help you memorize. This would be a really good idea to make a flashcard and write this question on the front. Where have I been choosing survival over healing? And on the back, list the areas of your life where you've chosen to simply survive or get by or coast or go through the motions instead of healing. The third practical tool is more of an encouragement to provide hope, to provide encouragement, to give you some faith, right? And it's a guided prayer. And you can even write this down. And it's simply something like this. God, I choose healing today. Even though it's hard, even though it's uncomfortable, I choose life. Help me to stay committed to this process and confront what I've been avoiding. Give me courage, strength, and peace. Remind me that healing is not just possible, it's promised. In Jesus' name, amen. Those 3 practical tools can be very helpful and can help you stay with this mantra: choose, commit, confront. It is super crucial to healing in general. Those 3 steps in the process. And these 3 tools can help you act on those. So, in closing, I want you to remember a few things. You can't heal what you haven't chosen, right? So healing is good. Healing is a nice thing to see people walk in and think about and feel. But if you don't choose it, you can't have it. So if you don't choose healing, you can't heal. But I want to remind you of something, and I want you to know something. Let this sink in. Today you did something powerful. You made a decision. If you're following along on this podcast right now, and you're doing these things that I'm mentioning, if you're putting these into practice, then you're doing something very powerful in your life. You're making a decision. Every day forward, every day from this moment on, that choice will shape your transformation. Let me say that again. Like I said earlier, we have to make the choice to heal every moment of every day of our entire life. And the decision that you made today on this podcast to choose your healing will shape your transformation. Healing is not a one-time moment, right? It's a daily yes. It's a daily choice. It's a daily commitment. It's consistent confrontation, right? It's think of it like a sacred commitment to your wholeness, your healing, right? I've adopted something in my life where prior to my healing, who I used to be, commitments meant something, but I broke a lot of commitments. And I don't think I held them as sacred, but I've adopted something since my healing has taken place. Since I've been healed, I've adopted I've made commitments sacred. If I commit to something, if I make a commitment to myself, and you can ask people that know me on this level, if I make a commitment to myself, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to keep it because it has now become sacred. So y'all, remember that it is not just a one-time choice. You choose, I want to heal, and then that's it for the rest of your life. It has to happen every day, every moment of your entire life. Make that commitment, make that choice to heal sacred to you. On the next episode in this series, we're going to talk about what happens when you finally confront the things you've been avoiding. Let me say that again. On the next episode, we're going to talk about what happens when you finally confront the things that you've been avoiding. It's going to be challenging, but in order to heal, it's deeply necessary. Y'all, thank you again so much for listening. I've been having a lot of fun. This is exciting, and this is fun for me, this series that I'm doing, because it's me putting my story into practical tools, processes, methods, whatever you want to call it, so that y'all can glean whatever you need from it. And I've always said that the purpose for this podcast was to use my story in order to just help even just one person. And if I can do that, then it's all worth it. Everything that I went through, all the hell, all the suffering that I went through, it's all worth it. Y'all remember to check out the website, www.unfeigned.org. Also, you can get this podcast at www.tinyurl.com/unfeigned podcast. Remember to click the follow button so that you stay up to date on all the latest episodes. Email me at unfeignedpodcast@gmail.com. Send me a message on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And remember, the last Friday of every month is our live Q&A session or episode. This next one will be June 27th. Go to the website, click the live Q&A link at the top, fill out the form, submit your questions, ask for advice. Y'all, this is getting exciting. Till next time, we'll see you.